The finalist in the clubs competition, Boriana Cain, the top performer in qualification with an excellent 35.05 score. The gymnast who finished second at the World Championships in Valencia last year. Welcome if you are just joining the action for the second half of our coverage of the Sofia World Cup of Rhythmic Gymnastics. 3 more finals to come. Clubs, ribbon and the group mixed apparatus competitions.
Стартираме с финала на бухалки при индивидуалистките. We start individual clubs final. С стартов номер 1. Моля посрещнете представителката на Узбекистан, Тахмина Икромова.
No wonder she smiles considering the day that she's having.
Please welcome Tahmina Ikromova.
Tahmina Ikromova of Uzbekistan, the 5th best in qualification with the clubs, performing to music Carmen by Arcadian, the same as last year.
L'amour est enfant de la consommation. Il faudra toujours plus de choix. Voulez-vous des sentiments tombés du camion? L'offre et la demande pour unique et seule loi. Et c'est comme ça qu'on s'aime. 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 Un jour t'achètes, un jour tu aimes, un jour tu jettes, et un jour tu payes, un jour tu verras, on s'aimera, mais avant on crèvera tous comme des rats. Et c'est comme ça qu'on s'aime, c'est comme ça qu'on s'aime.
Tahmina Ikromova of Uzbekistan, the reigning 2-time Asian champion with the clubs. This is the only routine that has remained the same as last season for her, the Carmen music. She did have one very visible loss of the apparatus without too much by way of adjustment steps, but certainly at a cost to her execution and intended difficulty. The problem with losses of the apparatus is that it's also, as I'm sure many of you know, tied to what you're doing at the time, as we see those very nice high releve chaîné turns performed. There are some drops that are quite low cost drops in terms of difficulty that you sacrifice, whereas if you are coming out of a big sequence of forward rolls, for example, those, and you lose the apparatus, then you can say cheerio to the difficulty that you've been attempting throughout that too. Good stability in the penché turns, very nice stable leg that's raised. But 30.75 for Ikromova. She has lost quite a lot of difficulty, 1.9.
Please welcome neutral athlete Alina Garnasko.
Alina Garnasko, 7th best in qualification with a score of 32.2. The body language of Alina Garnasko clear for all to see at the conclusion of a display that had some exquisite moments in terms of its technical excellence and had some losses of precision. She is hugely popular, the gymnast who achieved that excellent third place finish at the Olympic Games in Tokyo, and who so memorably won the world title with the ribbon in 2021. Really had to break into an almost full-scale sprint to retrieve the club. She's out of bounds, that clearly carries penalty tenths with it. Lacking some stability as well in the balance work, but then she gets it back into some very high releve fouette turns into the attitude derrière, which is a nice combination. But execution-wise, there will be quite a lot, regrettably, to deduct. Lovely little hop up into the chaîné turns to show enormous strength to come back into the releve position. That's that excellent balletic training. But 29.8 for Garnasko represents a lot of difficulty lost and a lot of execution lost. Sofia Raffaeli from Italy, the 4th best performer in qualification with a score of 32.95. The gymnast who won the club's title at the World Games the year before last and who is the reigning European champion. That's very striking to watch, from Sofia Raffaeli to the music Dark Mirror. It's very discordant, and it is in safe hands with her, as were the clubs by and large. One cannot state strongly enough just what an important and unusual milestone it is to reach 50 World Cup medals, and to do it as well when you've only just turned 20. It's quite extraordinary. Real clarity to her dynamic balance work, then into the illusion turn. Bent leg penché turns. Lovely the way she flicks the leg out of that with so much style. The forward rolls well executed too. Lovely toe point, briefly establishing attitude devant. And then the unsighted trap. 32.95 in the preliminary round. That was the fourth best. And that is way better, unsurprisingly. 34.25. She's 1.2 up in terms of the difficulty. Artistry more or less the same. Execution a slight increase. But mainly that's come through extra difficulty. To Boriana Cain of Bulgaria, the top qualifier with the club's 35.05. New music this, performed by a singer whose incredible vocal range is matched by her incredible fouette turns. That is very special gymnastically. She makes that haunting orchestration work wonderfully, Boriana Cain. That's another routine with bags of potential. The singer is Dimash Kudaibergen, a gentleman from Kazakhstan with an extraordinary vocal range. I was lucky enough to see him sing live at the opening ceremony of the European Games in 2019. He's one of the greatest live performers out there, and his music is being used by one of the greatest live performers out there. Some strong side scale work in this routine. So important that the gymnast gets a full rotation to get the difficulty. Look at the fouettes, bang up into releve, snaps out of them. No movement from the starting position. Slightly lost the form in the illusion turn exit. Great trajectory judgment coming out of the forward rolls. understand there is an inquiry in progress for Sofia Raffaeli. As Boriana Cain waits for her score, and it is 33.9. So she has lost 1.3 of difficulty from qualification. That really is just about the only difference. Everything else has remained high. One wonders if there might be an inquiry there as well. We have, as mentioned earlier, that little pause while we wait for Sofia Raffaeli's inquiry.
An inquiry has been submitted by Italy for the DB score of Sofia Raffaeli.
The arena presenters clarifying that it is the body difficulty, not the apparatus difficulty, that has been challenged. As I'm sure many of you know, the difficulty score in rhythmic gymnastics broken down into two categories: body and apparatus difficulty, and you can inquire about both should you wish. And as is the case in all forms of gymnastics, you cannot inquire about your execution score, nor can you challenge the artistry mark. It's only the difficulty that can be challenged. Difficulty is the one that starts from 0 and works upwards, and the execution and artistry start from 10 and are calculated by deduction rather than by increases based on what the gymnast performs. And again, I'm sure it's something that many of you know, but if you are new to watching rhythmic gymnastics, the moves that the gymnasts perform are set in terms of their difficulty value by a weighty tone called the Code of Points, and it contains guidance on execution and artistry for judges, but what it contains is a fascinating appendix of every single conceivable skill move and the exact value given to it. So that's what the difficulty panel of judges does. They calculate everything that they see based on their encyclopedic knowledge of the Code of Points. And sometimes it can come down to the grey area of whether a turn was fully completed or not. Did the gymnast actually control the rotations as they were intending to do so? Did they get it the whole way round or 3/4 of the way round? And the judges see it in real time. We have the luxury of watching replays. The city of Sofia has a history going back about 7,000 years. It is, and I say this nervously, claimed by many to be the second oldest city in Europe, but one doesn't wish to start that sort of debate among European cities where it can be quite difficult to prove the exact beginning of a settlement's identity. But the Thracians were among the very first who settled in Sofia, and the city centre today was also the city centre in the 4th millennium BC.
Has been reviewed and the score is unchanged.
Well, we are receiving confirmation there of no change to Sofia Raffaeli's
Please
score.
welcome the gymnast representing Israel, Daniela Munitz.
Daniela Munitz of Israel, Part of the team that won bronze at the European Championships last year. She was the 6th best in qualification.
L'amour est un oiseau rebelle qui ne peut t'apprivoiser. Et si y en a un qu'on l'appelle, c'est lui qu'on vient de refuser. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, si je t'aime, prends garde à toi. Toi, regarde-moi, y va. Toi, manda la mano, va de loin. Toi, regarde-moi, y va. Toi.
Quite a lunge there at the end for Daniela Munitz to make sure that she had control of the apparatus at the end of the routine, which is so vital. She's absolutely heading in the right direction in terms of her career trajectory and her development. She gets lovely height as she leaps. Those are powerful. And the third leap, going into the fourth, doesn't betray much, if any, decline in amplitude. Really developing her physical strength. She's got a lot of power, but she did have to lunge quite heavily at the end. With the Mediterranean Games champion from years gone by her side. 30.7 the score for Daniela Munitz. She is down by about a mark and a half from qualification. So we have 3 to go, including the second and third best in the preliminary round. And a World Championship medalist. Victoria Onoprienko of Ukraine, the bronze medalist with the clubs at the last World Championships.
Definition make them boys go crazy. They always claim they know me, coming to me, call me Stacy. I'm the F to the E, R, G, the I, the E, and can no other lady put it down like me. I'm Fergalicious, so delicious. My body stay vicious. I'll be up in the gym, just working on my fitness. Taste. Watch what I got. All the time I turn around, brothers gather around, always looking at me up and down, looking at my. I just wanna say it now, I ain't trying to round up, drama little mama, I don't wanna take it. And I know I'm coming off just a little bit conceited, and I keep on repeating how the boys wanna eat, but I'm trying to tell that I can't be treated like. My body, hold up.
To the D, to the E, to the L-I-C-I-O-U-S, to the D, to the E, to the L-I-C-I-O-U-S, to the D, to the A, to the S-T-E, my girl, you tasty G, to the A, to the S-T-E, my girl, you tasty G, to the A, to the S-T-E, my girl, you tasty G, to the A, to the D, to the E, to the L-I-C-I-O-U-S, to the
Performing to Fergalicious by Fergie, formerly of the Black Eyed Peas, Victoria Onoprienko. Just to clarify, I mean Fergie, formerly of the Black Eyed Peas, not Victoria Onoprienko. Did seem to have a little balance issue right at the conclusion of that routine, but nothing enormous. It's a lot of fun, that performance, as it tends to be when you watch Victoria Onoprienko.
So delicious.
My body stay vicious. I be up in
Good,
the gym.
powerful knee bend up into releve in the straight leg fouette turns.
Watch what I got.
Those the sorts of things that you would expect her to execute well with her balletic background. She's become one of the most expressive performers over the years. We just saw the back bend there and illustrated there too. That's always been one of her most favoured skills. Anything involving a back bend. 32.15, the qualification score for Victoria Onoprienko. Represented her country with such pride at the last World Championships, getting onto the podium. Her score is 33. It is an improvement from qualification, chiefly in difficulty. So Onoprienko goes into the bronze medal position. It's Raffaeli, then Cain, then Onoprienko with the third and second best qualifiers to come. Here is the gymnast who was third best in the preliminary round, Kazakhstan's Elzhana Taneva. 33.25 for the gymnast who was on the World University Games podium with the clubs last year. That's a very good performance from Elzhana Taneva of Kazakhstan. She's become so much physically stronger in the last couple of years. Her ability to perform more complex turns, such as the side scale pirouette, has really become clear. Massive development for the 18-year-old. Who has been a top 10 performer in the all-around competition at World Championship level. Good releve position in her chaîné turns. Slight loss of form perhaps in the bent leg turn. Penché into side scale and then shows real style exiting it. Big back bend position in the leaps. You get a little more in terms of bonus tenths for hitting the back bend rather than keeping the straight trunk. 33.25 in the preliminary round for Elzhana Taneva. And if she gets close to that here, she goes into the bronze medal position with one to go. is 33 that currently holds third place. That is what we've just seen from Victoria Onoprienko. She's really increased in global popularity over the last year or so, Elzhana Taneva. Was actually a figure skater initially. 32.95, very close. Very close. Whether they'll inquire that, we'll have to wait and see. She's only 500ths away from Onoprienko's score to a much talked of youngster, a 15-year-old from Wrocław in Poland, Liliana Lewinska, the second best in qualification with 33.4. She won a bronze medal with the hoop in Athens at the first World Cup of the season in her senior international debut. She is the reigning junior world champion with the clubs. Tough start though.
Strongest at night. My Adam dinners are my men friends' delight. When I invite the fellas over to dine, they all come early, in bed by 9. So let's bring on the bed and let the fun begin. A little touch of sin, why wait another minute? Step this way, it's time for us to play. They say we may not pass this way again, so let's waste no more time. Bring on the
Very exciting orchestration, Bring on the Men, from the musical based on the 1886 Gothic novella The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. A shame that she had those difficulties at the very beginning, but my goodness me, this is a gymnast whose potential has become the talk of the town really in rhythmic gymnastics. The last Polish rhythmic gymnast to qualify for the Olympic Games was Joanna Mitrosz, who was a top 10 performer in London in 2012. Got real strength in her penché turns. Impressive fundamentals from Lewinska. 33.4 was her score in qualification. It's 33 that holds bronze. Coached by her mother Christina, who competed at the Atlanta 96 Games. 30.75 for Liliana Lewinska. We'll just wait to see if there are any inquiries before confirming the results.
Така, сега са в сектор 104. Така. Здравейте, вие русата госпожа. На втория ред. Да, вие станете.
Let's remind ourselves of some of the moments of this club's competition at the Sofia World Cup.
Единия ваучер на Next Basket. Заповядайте в сайта на Next Basket. Там ще видите една уникална платформа, което е нещо иновативно в нашата страна. Така че, госпожо, от вашите две имена. Стиляна Петрова с Петрова. А Петкова. Стиляна Петкова. С А или с Я? Добре. Ето този господин, виждам, че майче ще има онлайн магазин. Така че, тъй като това е само за хора над 18 години, не е за децата, за съжаление, те все още не могат да имат онлайн магазини. Двете ви имена. Йордан Илчев, моля да разпишеш следващият ваучер. Йордан Илчев, а ти ми дай сака на SLS на Русиньол. Следва SLS на Русиньол. Един уникален сак на SLS на Русиньол. Така, знаете ли какво? Който го хване, готови ли сте? Едно? Не, стоп. Високо. Така, продължаваме. Благодаря много. SLS на Русиньол от 2011 година. Магазините на Фреди обличат нашите страхотни момичета. Заповядайте, деца, насам. Сега да видя какво ще извада тук. Везба. Везба.bg. Вижте какво става на сектор 104. Сега този подарък ще го раздам с въпрос. Раздавам го с един въпрос. При децата. Точно така. Въпроса, пък който отговори. Точно така. На кое място се класира България на световното през 2022 ансамбли? Не.
Второ.
Не. Чу така, моето момиче, ти печелиш. Много си бърза, браво, заповядай. Сега
Жоре?
деца, само да разчистим хода.
Жоре, прекъсвам те. Дами и господа, моля вашите аплодисменти за съдийската бригада на Лента. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
The
the judges
classified
for
results in the club's competition: the bronze medal won by Victoria Onoprienko of Ukraine, silver going to Boriana Cain of Bulgaria, and the gold medal won by Italy's Sofia Raffaeli.
Gabriela Salvador, Portugal. Blanka Mljenkova, Czech Republic. Artistry panel, Seiwa Pitkanen, Finland. Anna Svirina, Armenia. Shangyeon Cha, Korea. Banu Osu, Turkey. Execution panel, Rodina, Belgium. Tina Chas, Slovenia. Vicky Pearson, Great Britain. Evgenia Vilyeva, Azerbaijan.
The
Reserve
ribbon
judge,
final
Sutter, Switzerland.
and the top performer in qualification,
Line judges,
Bulgaria's own
Martin
Stiliana
Austria.
Nicolova with a
And
Paris-themed
Laura Costa
routine.
Rodriguez, Mexico. Time judge, Eva
Can she
Kiriakou
manage to
Committee,
hold on
Cyprus.
from her qualification berth, or will the second best qualifier, Victoria Onoprienko, manage to best her? Confirmation of those standings in the club's competition. And time now to enjoy the last individual event at the Sofia World Cup, the ribbon final. We have the World Games champion to get us started.
Дами и господа, моля вашите
She will be
силни
followed by her own
аплодисменти
teamate,
за
who is the
представителката на Израел,
junior
Дария
European champion.
Атаманов. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the gymnast from Israel, Daria Atamanov.
The third best performer in qualification, Israel's Daria Atamanov, the reigning World Games ribbon champion and the all-around bronze medalist from Valencia last year at the World Championships. All of this after she broke her leg in the warm-ups for the World Championships in this arena in 2022. Something of a sprint right at the end from Daria Atamanov. The gymnast who was so memorable at those World Games in Alabama, and the gymnast who the crowd didn't then get to see just after it in this arena at the World Championships. And my goodness, when you consider the trauma that she went through physically and psychologically with that broken leg in the warm-ups a matter of minutes before competing in this arena, and what must have been going through her mind as she returned to Bulgaria. It's been a joy to watch her today. She is a resilient and extremely stylish young gymnast. .85 her score in qualification, 32.65 in the final. 0.3 penalty for that out of bounds transgression right at the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the gymnast representing Israel, Taneva Munitz.
Daniela Munitz of Israel, the junior European champion with the ribbon at home in Tel Aviv in 2022. Fifth best in qualification with 31.75. there can't really be any doubting the potential for the future for Daniela Munitz of Israel. A gymnast who is so new to senior international competition. She made her debut at the Baku World Cup last year. She's competed at junior national level with her twin sister Michelle, or junior international level I should say. It's very discordant music to work with, and it requires a skillful gymnast choreographically. Certainly something that she is able to carry off. The execution score in qualification was 7.95. One of the lower execution scores for all of the qualifying gymnasts, but with quite high difficulty. Crowd getting excited because Stiliana Nicolova is next. .35 is the score on this occasion. Her difficulty 1.6 down from qualification.
Stiliana Nicolova.
The top performer in the preliminary round, Stiliana Nicolova of Bulgaria, a gymnast who finished second at the World Championships in this arena in 2022. This is All Eyes on Paris.
Voici ma belle, tout Paris. Tiens, une jolie fleur, mamie. Découvrons donc la joie de vivre.
Paris, tu nous offres l'amour. Même Freud est succombe un beau jour. Il y a de l'amour dans l'air.
Et enfin, l'hiver, Paris, tu nous ouvres ton cœur. Oh là là.
Les filles chantent des fou-fou, dansent le cancan. Le cancan c'est
Quand t'es fou. Paris, c'est la ville du bonheur.
Vous voilà jolie comme un cœur.
Tous la nuit entière.
Oublie d'être morose.
I think there's a very small chance that could play quite well in Paris. Just possibly. It's performed well though, that's the main thing. It's busy, very busy, and what Stiliana Nicolova manages to do is to pack huge amounts of difficulty into these fiery, energetic performances. It sometimes feels as though she has about 15 seconds more than any other gymnast out there on the carpet because of what she can do in a short space of time. She's made the decision after using a different version of the music last year with English lyrics to now use the French version of Paris Holds the Key to Your Heart, which seems to be a sensible stylistic choice. Look at the physical control demonstrated. That central foot, the standing leg remains completely glued to the spot as she performs those difficult ring pirouettes.
Още веднъж бих ви помолил, когато снимате да не използвате цветкавица. Предупреждението е между секторите 111 и 112. Благодаря.
Gifts being thrown to her by the crowd. Absolutely beloved in the city that she's called home for most of her life, Stiliana Nicolova. She used to travel to Sofia from Cairo every year to compete at the national championships. She was initially coached by her older sister until she was 13, and that's a big score, 33.65. Only a fraction down, a tenth and a half from qualification. She is leading and leading well after 3.
With ribbon representing Kazakhstan, please welcome Elzhana Taneva.
To a gymnast who missed out on a medal with the clubs by 0.05 of a mark. Elzhana Taneva of Kazakhstan, the 6th best in qualification here. She actually won the silver medal in this World Cup last season. A gymnast who has kept a good portion of her programmes from last year, Elzhana Taneva, including this medley from the Matrix soundtrack, and it's tried and tested. It works very well for her. So much success internationally with the ribbon last season. It is sensible to maintain that orchestration. She won a silver medal at the World University Games in Chengdu. I mentioned earlier the silver medal in this World Cup. That's so nice, isn't it, the way she moves from penché into the side scale pirouette. It's great physical strength to do it too. It's a very interesting kind of strength required in rhythmic gymnastics, a very deep muscular strength that allows the gymnast to hold positions for such a long period of time. All of these gymnasts are extremely powerful athletes. She was a multiple medalist at the Islamic Solidarity Games in Turkey in 2022. That, for many, put her on the world map. And from her perspective, certainly enormously impacted her confidence. She scores 30.9. It's a small drop of less than a mark from qualification, principally difficulty. So it means at the halfway stage of the competition we have Nicolova ahead of Atamanov by a full mark. The second chance today to look at Taisia Onofriichuk of Ukraine, who made the ribbon final at the Junior World Championships in Cluj-Napoca last year. Now a senior, she qualified 8th for this final.
It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. He traveled all around the world and everywhere he went, he'd use his word and all would say, there goes a clever gent.
When Dukes and Martha Rogers pass a time of day with me, I say me special word and leave me off real to tea.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Because I was afraid to speak when I was just a lad. My father gave me nails and tweaked and told me I was bad. But then one day I learned a word to say create your nose.
The biggest word you ever heard, and this is how it goes. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious.
For example,
Yes?
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Super careful ribbon tricks on Onofriichuk's precocious. What a lovely performance from the young Ukrainian. Great addition to the senior circuit, this gymnast. She scored 31.1 in qualification. Let's have a look back at this performance. Really attacks those straight leg fouette turns, doesn't she? Look at the head position, very strong, very secure. Elegant and flowing. We have an inquiry in progress for Elzhana Taneva. That's no great surprise. It was clear, wasn't it, from the facial expression of Elzhana Taneva and her coach at the end that they were surprised by that difficulty score.
Получена е контестация от щаба на Казахстан за състезателката Елжана Танева за трудност с уред.
An inquiry has been submitted by Team Kazakhstan for the DA score.
We have the formal confirmation now from the arena presenters who've done a sterling job today. The arena Sofia. Still to come, we've got the Junior World Champion with the ribbon next, Liliana Levinska, then Boriana Cain, She was the runner-up with the ribbon at the World Championships in Valencia last year. And we've got the bronze medalist from the World Games in 2022, Victoria Onoprienko. So far too soon to tell what the destination is of the medals. The weight goes on, some scrutiny being given here. But for Tasia Onofriichuk, the more and more finals that she makes, the more feathers in her cap, the more she will feel confident as a senior international athlete.
Оценката за трудност с уред на казахстанската състезателка Танева не е променена.
The inquiry submitted by Kazakhstan has been reviewed and the score is unchanged.
And there we have it. No change to the score for Taneva, and 32.1 for Onofriichuk is a full mark better than the preliminary round. Congratulations to the 15-year-old from Kyiv.
Следва да видим представителката на Полша, Лиляна Левинска.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the gymnast from Poland, Lilana Lewinska.
The reigning junior world champion, Poland's Liliana Lewinska, 7th best in qualification. No question, one to watch. Coached by Mother Christina, who also coaches her younger sister Laura in the home city of Wrocław, which hosted the World Games in 2017. And all that after her mother initially suggested that maybe rhythmic gymnastics wasn't the thing for her to do because she didn't want her probably to automatically follow her mum into the sport. Well, that didn't work, did it? She's turned out to become her own strong individual with a real sense of creativity. There was no keeping her away from this sport. Good penché turn, she's powerful and aggressive in attacking them. Same with the fouettes. Quite stable. And good pattern work with the ribbon as well. It's so important that the ribbon has pattern work that accompanies those turns well, that it looks aesthetically as though it belongs with the skills that the gymnast is performing. There's no point doing wonderful turns if the ribbon doesn't have shape to it as you're doing them. She has achieved the best results for Polish rhythmic gymnastics in a generation. I'm sure some of you remember at the Gdynia World Stars competition last year, Lewińska was about to do her ribbon routine. Suddenly there was a spider on the mat right by her starting position, and then it got even more absurd. A spectator came on to deal with the ribbon, but came on all fours so as not to get his shoes on the carpet, but he also had a baby strapped to his chest. The whole thing became like some sort of absurd comedy. Of course, she went on to win the event. 30.9 the score for Lewińska. She's down by half a mark from qualification. From Sofia, in Sofia, performing a ribbon routine very special to her, Boriana Cain. This is a special orchestration that has been composed for her. It contains a quotation at the beginning by her favourite author.
Gosto de castigo do mói, няма да остана в нужда. Освежава душата ми, вода изправа, зърното си.
It's been a very mixed day for Boriana Cain, but we just remind ourselves that she has a track record of producing quality performances when big occasions come around. This is a really important event for them, for her, for all of the Bulgarian gymnasts, but it is just one step in a very complicated journey this season that takes in the European Championships next and the Olympiad. So where she is now is not anything like as relevant as where she can potentially be. We are, after all, dealing with the reigning European all-around champion here. And there are very few things as dangerous in rhythmic gymnastics as a Boriana Cain who's got a very strong personal connection with her music. It just brings out something special in her. Didn't always have full control of the ribbon. Seemed to have got the trajectory right before the loss of the apparatus there. Strong trap at the end. Nearly, it really was close to being a clean catch. I can confirm for you that Liliana Levinska and her coach, another Christina, have filed an inquiry. So we will wait for that before the score for Boriana Cain can be confirmed, or perhaps not. Forget that. 31 is the score for Cain. It's down by close to 2 marks from qualification. 1.85 drop.
Дами и господа, моля вашите аплодисменти за представителката на Украина Виктория Onoprienko. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the gymnast from Ukraine, Victoria Onoprienko.
Time for a bit of classic rock here from Victoria Onoprienko of Ukraine, the last individual performer in this World Cup. She was the second best in qualification and was the bronze medalist at the World Games. Performing to music sung by the demon himself. It is Victoria Onoprienko of Ukraine, the 19-year-old from Kyiv, who was 10th in the all-around competition at the last Olympic Games. But her international success really has stepped up a level over the last year or 18 months. And it all started with a ribbon gold medal at the Pesaro World Cup. Energetic work. Good fouette turns. Nicolova 33.65, Atamanov 32.65, and then sitting In third place, Onofriichuk, the Ukrainian, 32.1. So we have got an inquiry for Boriana Cain in progress. Plenty of discussion going on at the moment about Boriana Cain's ribbon routine. Once that has been concluded, then we'll have the score for Victoria Onoprienko. And we are due to move in about 5 minutes or so to the mixed apparatus final.
Дами и господа, контестацията, подадена от отбора на Полша, е разгледана и оценката е променена. Ladies and gentlemen, the inquiry submitted by Poland has been reviewed and the score is changed.
There has been a change to Liliana Levinska's score, an increase of 0.2. Now, what about Victoria Onoprienko? 32.1 is currently holding the bronze medal. And it continues to just about. Onoprienko finishing 2/10 below her own teammate, Taisia Onofriichuk. Let's have a look back at this final.
Дами и господа, моля още веднъж за вашите аплодисменти за съдийската бригада на топки и ленти. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let us welcome the judges for balls and ribbons. Difficulty panel. Natalia Yeromina, Ukraine. MSM Mohlar, Hungary. Larissa Lukyanenko, Ain. Shangyeon Cha, Korea. Artistry panel, Blanka Mlenkova, Czech Republic. Krisi Georgakaki, Greece. Yekaterina Yasikova, Kazakhstan.
The classified results in the ribbon competition. The gold medal won by Bulgaria's Stiliana Nicolova, silver to Daria Atamanov of Israel, and the bronze medal won by the youngster Taisia Onofriichuk of Ukraine, just ahead of her own international teammate Victoria Onoprienko.